Hey YouTube, NWA Prepper here, and today we went on a weekend trip, and I wanted to kind of show you and talk to you a little bit about the kind of catch everything emergency tub that I have in the car that I just throw in the trunk. This is in addition to my large trauma kit that I've done another video on, the large tan backpack, and in addition to my EDC. So we're going to get set up out here, and we'll get stuff laid out, and we'll talk about what I have in our car kit. Alrighty. Well, there is our almost empty tub. Still have an MRE heater in there. Well, look, we've got all this stuff that's in there, and we'll kind of just start, and we'll go around the table that, kind of what I think is in a timely fashion. Well, we've got our shelter portion of our bag. And what I have are 3 Mylar bags, or Mylar blankets. And then just a small poncho, an emergency poncho. Nothing big. I've just picked those up a few at a time. And then I've got a survival blanket that's a little bit lighter, and then I've got what I consider to be one that's a little bit better. It's a little bit thicker, and I have both of those. This is my preference, but I have both. One is 5 foot by 8 foot, and then I don't know how big this one is. It just says 1 to 2 person. Then, of course, we have a variety of tools. We have a multiplier, a tool sharpener, and then a saw, a Fisker's tree saw, really awesome. And then an X-Acto knife, or utility knife, real lightweight. And then I got this at a store today for a couple of bucks. So I've got those in there. And I will move those out of the way here. And I'm not packing it back in here in any particular way. I'm just kind of getting it off the table. Then, since this is my car kit, I've got a tire repair kit. And then plenty of extra plugs. Just in case. They were pretty inexpensive. But I thought it was a good idea. Then, of course, duct tape. I like lots of duct tape, so I've got 3 partial rolls and a full roll of duct tape, some black electrical tape, and some twine that are the majority of my fix-it kit, or my tape kit. But then I have this, which I used to carry in my EDC bag. But in here, this stuff in the middle is double-sided Velcro. And then this is just some leather strap that's about 2 inches wide. And I fit it in there to save space. And with those things there isn't a whole lot that I can't repair as far as equipment that I have. And of course, zip ties. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Got some extra shoelaces. And they're a little bit longer than any of our boots, so we can use for whichever one we need. And then, of course, you got to have 550 cord or paracord. This I got was on sale, and so the color to me doesn't really matter for a car kit. I'm not sneaking around or hiding in a car kit. Then, as far as, let's do light next. First off, I've got a whole package of these tea lights that are inexpensive. They're easy to use. I can use them to heat food, transport fire, all kinds of things. Then I have 2 of these little, really lightweight flashlights that I keep the batteries protected. There's a plastic cap in here that keeps them from making contact, so they stay good. Then I have a headlamp. And this one here is fully adjustable. It's, got different adjustments on it. I also keep the plastic in there to keep it from making battery contact. Then I have a waterproof light, and this one is a diving light, JediLights.com. I like it. My kids like it. It's kind of lightweight, easy to use. It's relatively bright, and it's pretty tough. So that's what I like about that. And then, of course, to back all those up and some of my communications equipment, I have at least 3 swaps of batteries for everything that I need. These 3 packs will swap out for both of my radios and all of my flashlights for 2 swaps. Then I have this guy here, which is a flashlight, a radio, a weather radio. I can charge some things with it, and it's a hand crank or a dynamic radio. It's not the best one. You can get some better ones, but this one was pretty inexpensive, and it's done me well for the last few years that I've had it. Then, of course, I really like to be able to see things coming at me, or, well, that whole knowledge is power. So I've got a pair of binoculars. And I'm going to just move this. Okay, then I've got 2 kinds of radios. I have the family band radio that each of my family members have one in their bag, and we know which channels to use. And then I have a Bofang ham radio that I've got my emergency channels programmed into, local repeaters, and, the ones that I think are important, as well as in this notebook over here is where I write down frequencies for places that I'm going to go. It's just a little cheap notebook and calendar. I keep a copy of the United States Constitution, and then some playing cards, just to, in the boredom. But I also have, is a headset with an earpiece for my Bofang radio, so that if I need to listen to things, I can do that without anyone else being able to hear. And it's not really about being tactical. It's more about I can listen to things and not scare my children or my wife by them hearing things that they don't need to hear. This little guy right here is a really cool little night vision device. It doesn't work very far, but it'll get about 50, 75 feet in pitch black. And it's just little, it's just a little plastic guy. I got that at, I believe, Cabela's for about $70. And you can see, you could clear this yard, and that's really good. It works inside buildings really well. Then, of course, I've got an extra box of ammunition for my everyday carry weapon. This is kind of my first aid area, and I've got a shamal or a scarf that it's big enough to be a blanket for exposed skin, or scarfy stuff. And then I have some Sharpies that I can write in my notebook, or I can write on first aid emergencies, or I can leave notes or anything. And I like Sharpies better than others. Then, of course, I have remember, this isn't my first aid kit. I have my big first aid kit. It's right there. So this first aid kit are just things to augment it. A waterproof bag with kind of my personal stuff. You'll notice some medicines in there, little bandages, things that are important to me and my family to keep nice and dry. Then I've got an emergency trauma dressing to back up my EDC kit. Got some gloves, these 2 bandages, and this whole little box is nothing but bandages, and then just an extra rolled gauze, and then some tissue and an N95 mask. I mean to have that enough for everyone in my party in there for those masks, but I just don't. Alright, some food, and it's just easy to eat MRE stuff, things that they like. We picked and choosed for some of it. chocolate chip peanut butter bar and a chocolate bar. Things that I know my family likes. Then, well, I don't like to be nasty, so got some baby wipes. We keep them sealed until we need them, but they're good and inexpensive. And if you'll notice the container, I'm not packing real tight. I'm just throwing it in there, and it still already fits. So you can imagine when I pack things in there tightly, how well I can do that. What we've got left are, all right, flint and steel, right? We've got to have fire. Any kit needs fire. You want fire for comfort, for safety, for signaling, for cooking. Well, this whole pouch was full of way easier ways to make fire than just that flint and steel. That's there in case I run out of matches. I've got lighters in there. I've got emergency pyro cans from Adventure Frontier. And I keep it all in there because this whole kit's going to be together. But I keep it all there nice and handy in that pouch. And then I save this to last because to me it's real important today. Particularly it's been pretty warm. It's summer. And I've been outside doing work and things. So on our trip, I like to have at least, and I've got more in the car, but at least one bottle of water for everybody on the trip. That's not counting what we keep or what we plan on recreation drink. That's just a bottle right there ready, easy to get to. And then I have a Sawyer system. The syringe fell on the ground, but I've got the Sawyer filter here. I've got a dirty water bag. I've got a cup to get it out because I plan on reusing those containers. But water's super important. And I mean, you guys know that. It probably should have been the first or second thing I talked about today. But this tub's pretty little. It doesn't take up a lot of space. You guys saw me just toss things in here. And I've got this nice little tub all packed. I picked a clear one so that I could see what was in it right away without having to, dig around or worry about that. If I want to find something, I can just spin it around. There it is, open it up and get to what I need. And so can the kids and the family. So I know we don't think of emergency kits very often for our vehicles, or not often enough. We think, oh, well, I'll have my EDC bag and that'll be good. But I'm telling you, you guys need to be more prepared. We went on a several-hour trip and we could have broke down. A storm could have stopped the road. I mean, there's so many things that can disrupt us. And this kit, in addition to what we normally carry, we'd be fine. We don't have cots or beds or anything, but we would be more than comfortable for any duration for a trip and able to get either here, where we were headed, or back home. I encourage you guys to watch this video and share it and think about how is your vehicle prepared or not prepared for an emergency. And what can you do a little at a time? You noticed I picked up some of the things in the last couple days. A little at a time to throw in your car to be safe. Let's get ready.